the second half for chapters 4 all the way till basically the rest. So I hope you guys enjoy. Thank you very much for all the support on my videos, and let's get this going. Not really. I sit up in bed, brushing her hand aside gently. Did you want something? Well, I just thought that your hair is getting a little untidy. If you want, I could cut it for you. Sure. Wonderful. Just sit over here and I'll get started. Mary pulls a pair of delicate silver scissors from her bag as I drag myself out of bed and into the chair. I take another closer look at Mary. She looks tired and her skin somewhat pallid. She looks a lot less healthy than she did yesterday. Did you get any sleep? I slept just fine. Thank you for worrying about me, though. I wasn't... Well, maybe I was. Mary starts on my hair, snipping and shearing away at loose ends, humming a pleasant tune as she works. I wince occasionally as her scissors part a tangled clump of my hair. Finally, she stops and takes a small hand-held mirror from its place on the desk, handing it to me. What do you think? I stare for a moment at my reflection. It's been a while since I've seen it last. I am given the distinct impression that I am staring at a small beast, a rabbit or a shrew caught in a hunter's trap. I look disheveled and unkempt, but at least my hair is now perfectly neat and tidy. It's great. Thank you. Oh, you don't know how happy that makes me. I stand up, and she pushes aside the chair, picking up the small rug beneath, now covered in my hair. I'll get rid of these hairs for you, okay? Right. The day passes peacefully for a while. I had borrowed a few books on alchemy from Mary's workroom, and I passed the time with reading. I eat mutton for lunch, while Mary watches on like she always does. And then, late in the day, as evening approaches, I suddenly hear a noise. I'm returning to my room when, just as I pass by Mary's bedroom door, I hear the sound of something scraping. It is rough and harsh, like metal scraping against metal. After a few seconds, I hear the sound again and then again. I take a few careful steps towards the door and press my ear up against it. As I do, I begin to notice other sounds, quieter ones, accompanying the scraping. As I can hear deep, heavy breathing, the faint sound of gagging, and a strange bubbling noise, the quietest of them all. I take another step, careful not to make any noise, and press my eye up against the edge of the door, which is slightly ajar. That's when I see it. Mary, sitting on her bed, hunched over, clutching in one hand a clump of hair. A clump of my hair. Slowly, she picks a few hairs from the clump, drops them into her open mouth, and swallows, her face twisting in revulsion. And she reaches for another few hairs and swallows them too. I must have let out a gasp or whimper involuntarily because her eyes suddenly flicker to the door and I almost collapse in fear. Hazel! I back away from the door as quickly as I can without making any noise. I'm halfway down the corridor when I hear the door open behind me. Hazel! Did you? What did you see? Sorry. Did something happen? I give her my most placid smile, praying that she doesn't notice my shaking hands. I was just going back to my room. I returned one of the books I borrowed from your workroom. Oh, that's good. Then you, She looks for a moment, both embarrassed and confused, then she collects herself. Good night, Hazel. Sleep well. I return to my room, close the door behind me slowly, carefully, then slam shut the latch. I can feel the discordance in my body. My nerves are afraid, my skin feels sensitive and raw. My heart is beating faster and faster and faster. I walk over to the desk and pick up the hand mirror, staring at my own reflection. My hair. Did she really take my hair to eat it? That's when I see a thin scar on the side of my cheek, or neck, faded but clearly recent. That must have been left by him. Oh, God. My hair crawls along my scalp, bursting through my skin. He used to say he liked it long, that it made me look prettier. Then he would tear and pull at it whenever he was upset. Some nights I worried that he would tear and tear until I went bald, and then he would have no more use for me. Blood trickles down the back of my neck. Scraps of fabric tear from my clothes and wrap around my body, binding around my neck, my arms, until I cannot even move. Chains wrap around my legs, heavy iron chains. I try to take a step backwards and almost fall. I cannot even move. My skin peels away from my face, bubbles up and dissolves in the tranquil air. My body is nothing but raw red muscle glistening with blood. I see it shift and deform in the mirror, pulsing with every beat of my heart. I touch my cheek with one finger and almost cry out in agony. I can feel my nails twisting and lengthening into claws. I curl my hand into a fist, and I feel them press against my palm. It is a familiar feeling. His nose would dig into my skin, cutting bright red lines until my whole back was peeled raw and slick with sweat and blood. Oh! Ew! Ew! That is fucking nasty. The scar. It curls along my neck like a snake, its scales rippling in the faint light. That was when he... Oh! What the fuck? Bruh, what was that? When I come to, I'm lying on the floor in a puddle of my own vomit. Slowly I stand up, about to buy off my clothes, undress, and lie down in bed. That night, I don't sleep. Day 5. Ah, where are we going? Sorry, wrong name. Rewind. Where are we going this time? I trail behind Mary as she makes her way through the forest, brushing aside branches and stepping over rocks. It's been a while since the last time we bathed. Or, well, last time you bathed, hasn't it? Is it that obvious? Mary chuckles. Sorry, that was a rude question. I know a good stream nearby, and I thought I would show you the way. You're free to go back home after that if you want. No, you were right. Ah, here we are. A large basin lies before us, a shimmering pool of clear blue water fed by a flowing stream. I step forward and dip my hand beneath the water's surface, feeling it run through my fingers. When I turn back around, Mary is in the process of pulling her dress over her head. Hey! I feel my cheeks burning with embarrassment. Why? You're getting naked? The moment the words come out of my mouth, I feel stupid and childish for saying them. Of course I am. I need a bath. But I'm still here. Oh, it's fine. It's just us girls here, after all. Screw my eyes shut. Oh my! Sorry, that was. When I open them again, Mary is drifting through the water. I look of sheer bliss on her face. She lets out a deep sigh. Ah, this is wonderful. Are you not coming in? No, I kneel by the water's edge, overcome with frustration. This is why I didn't want you undressing. I knew you'd expect me to do the same. I can't do it, okay? I just can't. I don't mind. That's not what this is about. Oh? It's fine. I'll just wait until you're done. Then you can go on ahead. Well, She kicks over the water's edge, looking up into my eyes. You don't have to undress to go swimming. It's not like those clothes don't also need a wash. The walk back to the house will be... Oh, oop. The walk back to the house will be a pain, but it's not far, and you can undress once we're back home. I suppose. I kick off my shoes and lower myself into the pool feet first. The water is cold but refreshing, and I soon find my tension wearing away as I float along. I'm sorry, about what you've gone through. You don't have to be. It wasn't your fault. Mary stands up and stretches, her back turned to me, and my breath is taken away. A web of scars adorn her back, carved into her skin. Your scars. I reach out one hand and brush it across her back, feeling its ridges, its contours. You like them? What? No, it's horrible. You must have gone through so much. Honey, you're looking at the proof of a life worth living. Really? Well, it must have been. Just look at how many people have tried to take it away from me. She laughs, but there's nothing hollow at the edge of her voice. I wrap my arms around her torso, feeling her cold, smooth skin. It's still not right. No one should have to endure so much suffering. You, least of all. Mary suddenly spins around and pulls me into the tight hug. Then she lets go and crouches down, cradling my face in her hands. Hazel, I love you so much. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's probably an awful thing to say after everything you've been through, but I couldn't hold it in any longer. I love you. Unsure of what to say, I stare at her face, taking it all in. Her skin is cold and pale. She looks more unhealthy now than she did yesterday. Her breathing is faint and her fingers feel stiff, almost lifeless. And yet, behind her eyes is a fire more intense than any I have ever seen. She sighs and lets me go, and I sink back into the water. I'm sorry about that. It's all right. I pull myself to my feet, shaking the water out of my ears. Next time you want to randomly hug me, can you put some clothes on first? Hey, you were the one who... Next time, so I can keep hugging you. If it'll make you happy, then fine. Oh, Hazel. She pulls me into another hug, and I fall back into the water under her weight. Hey! Sorry. Should we start heading back then? Sure. A while passes without much of note happening. Another meal, another conversation, some more reading. After lunch, Mary offers to show me around her workroom, and I oblige. The tour and her eager explanations are enjoyable, but there is one question I ask that provokes a strange response. And this piece of glassware is incredibly handy. It allows me to evaporate liquids and then recollect them through condensation, so nothing goes to waste. I'll show you how it works sometime. Where did you get all of this? Sorry? Oh, I was just wondering, because a lot of this equipment seems really rare and expensive. And I've never heard of most of these ingredients before. Mary opens her mouth, then pauses for a moment, as if she's thinking of what to say. I suppose there's no harm in telling you. I used to be an alchemist in the capital. In fact, I used to study at the Royal College of Alchemy. Really? Mary chuckles. A decent pedigree was the one gift my parents left me when they passed. That and the money, of course. But then, what happened to make you leave the capital? Well, I didn't leave by choice. The academy kicked me out. Those stuffy old men. They didn't like how I changed, I suppose. Anyway, enough about me. Don't you want to see the garden? The rest of my tour passes without issue, and I start to think about I saw on Mary's face might have been nothing more than just my imagination. When she mentioned her parents, I could have sworn I saw, for just the briefest of moments, a twisted grin forming on her lips. Day 6. Also, what the fuck is this? Whoa! Okay, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Oh my gosh, what was that? All up on my screen. Come morning, I am awoken by the sound of knocking and by a familiar voice. Hazel, can you open the door? I get out of bed, unlatch the door, and open it. Why did you lock the door? You never used to do that. Your eye. Oh, this. She taps the bandage a few times, like the thought of it worrying me had never even crossed her mind. I just had a bit of a nasty fall, that's all. It'll be healed up in a few days, I'm sure. Are you sure? It looks bad. I told you it was fine, more importantly. I need something from you. What is it? I need your blood. I laugh, and I expect her to laugh along with me. She doesn't. Look in her eyes is serious. No, more than that. I only now realize just how disturbed she looks. Her only unarmed eye has gone wide. Its pupil, a tiny black dot in the sea of white. Her arms are shaking slightly, her hands curling and uncurling. Her eyes keep darting around the room. She looks nothing like she did yesterday. What's wrong? No. I told you, nothing's wrong. She slams her fist into the wall, and the wood buckles from the impact. Hazel, if you love me, you do this for me. Okay. Great. She opens her mouth wide to smile, and for the first time I see how much she is salivating. She grabs me by the shoulder and drags me over to the bed, throwing me against it. I whimper in pain as my body hits the mattress, but I don't dare move. So I lie there, completely still, as she crawls up onto the bed, kneeling over me. She leans forward until her face is only a few inches from mine, her arms and legs against the bed, standing all fours like some savage beast. She opens her mouth wide, revealing an impossibly sharp pair of canines, and I brace myself, then she stops. Mary closes her mouth and smiles at me. Sorry, this will have to be. Just bear with it, okay? And she leans forward and bites my neck. The pain is unimaginable, like a red-hot brand being driven into my shoulder. Worse, it's the feeling of my blood leaving my body, like my insides are spilling out. But the worst are the sounds, Mary. Gnarling, growling, my screams filling the room from wall to wall. And the loudest, a hideous, slurping, gulping sound. I watch in disbelief as her body thrashes and her skin almost starts to glow, its color slowly returning. I see small hairline cracks across her body, ones that I had never noticed before, binding before my eyes. Her hands find mine, and our fingers lock together. She presses me down against the bed, and I can feel myself being almost crushed under her weight. My vision is blurring, sound is receding from the world. My breath is coming up short, and then, Mary lets go of me. The pain fades somewhat. She sits up and wipes my blood from her mouth with one hand. Thanks, honey. You have no idea how much I needed that. Then she clambers off the bed and leaves me there, my arms and chest sore, my clothes a mess, my shoulders still slowly bleeding. As quietly as I can, I start to cry. Some time passes and Mary returns. She applies a poultice to the wound on my shoulder and bandages it up. She apologizes profusely the entire time. I barely hear her words. I only find the strength to leave my bed hours later as noon approaches. When I step out into the hall, I find it empty. The door to the workroom is closed, and from the sound of it, Mary is in there now, working away. Suddenly struck by the desire to be anywhere but here, I find myself wandering out of the house and down that familiar dirt road. My legs almost move on their own. As I near the edge of the forest, I notice something in the distance, faintly visible between the trees. As I get closer, I make out what remains of a house burned almost to the ground. Support beams stick out of the dirt like the rib cage of some great beast charred as black as coal. I walk towards it, overcome by curiosity, but as I near the ruin, I suddenly hear a voice. Oh, are you lost, dear? An unfamiliar man is priestly garb, standing to my right from his tranquil posture. He looks to have been standing there for a while. No, I'm fine. He is clearly unconvinced.
Oh, are you all right, child? You look shaken.
I said I'm fine. I'm not a child.
I apologize. I did not mean to demean you. It is simply that before the majesty of God, we are all children, each and every one of us. Here, I have something for you.
He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a sprig of lavender, pressing it into my palm.
The smell should calm your nerves. And it does wonders when mixed into tea.
I lift the lavender to my nose and inhale. It helps to distract me at least. Thanks. What are you doing out here?
I could ask the same of you.
I don't really know. There's just something about this house.
Yes, this place was once home to a grievous tragedy. I try to visit at least once a year to pay my respects.
What tragedy?
The fear of witchcraft is an all too common melody in recent times. Even a decade ago, fear had these people in an iron grip. 2 women used to live here, kind souls, both of them. They were happy to provide food and shelter for travelers who needed it. I found myself enjoying their hospitality on several occasions. Of the 2 women, one of them, Eleanor, I think she was called, she worked in the nearby village at her family's tailor shop. The other woman worked as a doctor, producing and developing cures and remedies. I suppose that was the problem. Eleanor told me once that her father could never get out of his mind the thought that she was being stolen away every time she left the village. I heard several that even though the other woman was quite the talented doctor, many of the villagers didn't trust her skills. The idea that someone other than God could have such power over life and death, over their life and death, to them it was terrifying. Hatred requires but a small seed to bloom.
I look back at the house and shiver. What happened here? And why does it sound so familiar? Scattered around the area are what looks like the remains of glass bottles, vials, and wooden boxes torn, shattered, and broken to pieces. What are these?
The doctor I told you about? She had quite the collection of ingredients and equipment. I've heard that once the fire had burned itself out, a few of the villagers tore through the house looking for evidence of witchcraft. This would appear to be the result of their research.
I can see something behind the glass. It looks familiar almost. I step closer and carefully press one hand against the glass, but it doesn't bulge. That window is the one part of the building that's still fully intact. Whatever's behind it, it's blocked by rubble on the other side. I'm going to need something heavy if I want to get through it. I walk over to the makeshift charm and flick it with one finger, watching it swing lazily back and forth in the light breeze.
That's a charm meant to repel evil, put up by one of those villagers. It was actually here long before the fire. I passed under it during many of my visits. I don't know why neither of the women ever removed it, but I suspect it was the very willfulness which many of the villagers feared.
How did the fire start?
I did not witness it myself, so I cannot be certain. But from what I've heard, there was a group of villagers, several of them nursing a grudge. They must have blocked or barricaded the front door so that neither of the women could escape. reach down and pick up what looks like a scrap of paper sticking out of the rubble. When I pull it out, however, I see that it is actually a painting charred by smoke and fire. I lift it up to my face to get a closer look, but as I do, a gust of wind picks up, and the painting crumbles away, scattering into the wind. All I am left with is a faint impression that the painting's style seemed familiar. Come on, we already know who this is. Okay, no, we already did this. Okay. This isn't what I need. Okay, bruh, then what do you need? I lean down and pick up the large rock with both arms, straining from the exertion. What are you doing? You'll see. Okay. I pressed the wrong thing. This. There we go. I heave the rock with all my might and flinch as I hear it crash into the window, shattering it into pieces. A few birds fly out of the trees overhead, cawing and cooing in surprise at the sudden noise. As carefully as I can, I step through the broken window, avoiding the sharp panes of shattered glass. On the other side, almost buried under the rubble, are a few scattered ingredients and a cracked clay bowl. The ingredients look random at first, but I know better. A sprig of lavender, a branch of hemlock, and, in the center of the bowl, a bezoar stone. I clamber back out of the wreckage, and I look back at the priest, who is staring at me in shock. Sorry, I needed this. I give him a short nod, then return around and leave. At first, I intended to head back home immediately. Then I remember what's waiting for me there, and I paused. An image of Adrian flashes through my mind. I need someone to talk to, someone who won't hurt me. I turn around and head towards the village. I break out of the forest, and my pace quickens. When I finally reach the village, I'm almost running. I come to a halt in the town sentry and look around when... Hear ye! Justice has been served! Another fallen soul has been purged from this world. Witness her fate and repent your sins. Repent! I don't hear a word he says. In the center of the town square, it's a makeshift gallows. Hanging in that gallows, swinging slowly in the faint wind, is a lump of flesh, gray, rotten, and lifeless. Are you fucking serious? My blood runs cold. I collapse to my knees. What happened? What in God's name could have happened here? Just 3 days ago, Adrian had been so full of life. Why not Mary? She's the one they were hunting for, right? She's the damned witch. She's the one who deserves to... I can't afford any more attention. I can't bear to stay here even a second longer, so I run. Without any thought of where I'm running to, my feet pick up speed until the world around me seems to fade into the distance. I bite my lip to fight back the tears. I'm already getting some stares from the crowd. I only stop and collapse onto the dirt, gasping for breath, and the village is no longer in sight. You fucking serious? Day 7. Why did they have to kill off her? She was so cool and so chill. What the heck? When I wake up, the sun is bright, the sky is blue, and the birds are singing. It's a beautiful day. I groggily pull myself out of bed and stumble into the hall. Once again, I find the house empty. There is a note left on the table in shaking, unconfident handwriting, next to a loaf of bread and a few apples. I don't think I should be around you anymore. I don't know when I'll be back. I'm so sorry. I take a bite out of one of the apples, savoring its bitter taste. Then I get to work. Mary was in the workroom all of last night, so I couldn't use it. But last night was a half moon. Today will be my only chance to prepare the potion for the next month. I enter the workroom, retrieve the bazaar from its hiding place, then lay out all of my ingredients. Hemlock, arum lily, St. John's wort, and lavender. Mixing the paste takes a while, as does preparing the water.
It takes some searching through the kitchen to find a bowl, and then I have to trace my path back to the stream. Then I use a tinder box to get the fireplace going and hold the bowl at arm's length over it until it feels warm enough. From there, I follow the instructions to the letter. Apply the paste to the bazaar, let it soak in the water for a few minutes, and collect the sediment. I scrape it up into a small glass vial, no bigger than my pinky finger, cork the vial, and tuck it into my pocket. I am suddenly overcome with hesitation. That's it, right? All I have to do now is drink the potion, and no one from my past life or my current one will ever be able to find me again. I will be free at last. Shaking slightly, I raise the potion to my lips and still myself when I suddenly hear a noise outside the door. Panicking, I quickly cork the vial and stuff it back in my pocket when the door burst open. Hazel! I realize for the first time that she isn't wearing her eye patch. In fact, her eye is completely healed. For a moment, my neck twinges with a dull pain. Yes? I'm sorry. She reaches out and takes my hand. When I recoil from her touch, she shrinks back. I mean it. I really do. I thought I needed some time to think, but I was just trying to avoid this conversation. I don't want you to hate me. But maybe you should. The things I've done, people I've hurt, people I've abandoned. I don't deserve forgiveness anymore. And here I am, trying to run away again, like I've done so many times before. If you give me a chance, just one more chance, then I'll do everything I can to make it up to you. I swear, I'll never hurt you again. Can you do that? Give me one more chance. I open my mouth to give her an answer, when I suddenly hear the distinctive sound of someone knocking at the house's front door. We both freeze. Who is that? I don't know. The knocking repeats louder now. I move closer to the front door, my nerves on edge. Hazel! I know you're in there. Come out now and we can settle this peacefully. Blood freezes. I know that voice. All right, I didn't want to do this, but you leave me no choice. Reginald? There's a crash, a shower of splinters as an axe tears into the door, breaking through the latch. The door swings open. Good man, Reginald. Keep this up or you'll earn that knighthood any day now. The Duke of Heart barges his way into the room, flanked by two tough-looking guards, each armed with crossbows. My blood curdles. Mary steps in front of me and rises to her full height, her hands clenched in a fist, her eyes full of fire and brimstone. And just what the hell do you think you're doing? Why, reclaiming my property, of course, as is my God-given right. Don't make too much of a fuss about it. This is my land after all. I was bound to find her eventually. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a daffodil, staring at it with some tenderness. That girl, Adrian, she was quite the talker. Once I put her under the knife. Not that I did it any good anyway. You're sick. Get out of here now. You want to keep your life. The Duke sighs carefully, tucking the daffodil back into his pocket. Can we do this like adults, please, without the name-calling and stupid threats? The threats aren't going to work. I've taught my men a lesson or two about fearing anyone other than me. I notice whip scars and bruises across the men's arms and faces and shiver. Hand over my Hazel, or I will order my man Reginald here. He claps Reginald on the shoulder. He looks uncomfortable with their attention. Just shoot an arrow right through your head. Your death will be painful and ugly, and then I'll take her anyway. It's your choice. Hazel isn't yours. She never was. You just aren't getting it, aren't you? I am the Duke of this province. I own the floorboards you're standing on, and the ground beneath it. I own this house, I own this forest, and I own Hazel. She is, in fact, one of my most treasured possessions, and I just cannot stand the thought of anyone else touching her. Mary bristles up these words.
and the Duke's features light up in sadistic glee. Oh, yes, I've heard you before. The way you take poor broken young girls, then leave them homeless when they reject your advances. Several of my current lads came to me because they had nowhere left to go after you abandoned them. He nods towards me, and I shrink back behind Mary. Does she know? Have you tried to touch her already? Oh, look at her eyes. Of course she knows. We have apologized yet? You. Have you begged her to give you another chance to never leave you behind? At least I am honest in my intentions. Mary finally speaks. Her voice is cold and quiet. Shut up. He turns back to face me. It's not true. She sees something in my eyes, some hint of doubt or fear. Her expression barely shifts, but I see tears budding in her eyes before she's wiping them away and turns back around to face Duke. She closes her eyes, takes a deep, long breath, and for a moment, she is a picture of calm. Then her eyes snap open and her fists unfurl, her fingers curved like claws. She leans forward, crouching almost like a tiger before its prey. When she speaks, her voice betrays no emotion. This is your last chance. Leave now, or I will tell you then later. Reginald, ready your bow. Yes, sir. Hazel, close your eyes. I screw my eyes shut tight, and the world goes dark. I hear the twang of an arrow behind me, and the dull thud of it hitting the wall. What the fuck? Okay. I hear running and growling and then screaming in deep gurgle. I only open my eyes again once the room is silent. I find the room completely empty and completely still. Behind me, the workroom door creaks open and Mary pokes her head out. Are you okay? Yes. Ray. Are you okay? Did they hurt you? Hazel, you've known me for a while now. Don't ask stupid questions. You should get some sleep. We'll talk in the morning. But it's only noon. I'll be busy for some time now. With that, she leaves the doorway and slams the door shut behind her. I watch it bounce off its hinges, then settle slightly ajar. As I'm standing there, I suddenly hear a loud noise, a horrible tearing noise, and then a loud crack. I inch closer to the door. I have to know. I press my eye up against the opening and I see it. Mary, crouching over a pile of body parts. It's almost hard to believe that so much flesh and so much blood could come from just 3 bodies. She reaches down and, with a delicate force, tears a chunk out of one of the corpses. She raises the chunk of meat to her lips and takes a bite, and just as she swallows it, the look on her face, it's sheer bliss. She must have heard of me gasping in shock because of her eyes darting to the door, and she jumps to her feet. I try to back away, but I only make it a few steps before the door crashes open and Mary steps out in front of me, knife still in her hand. I knew it! I knew you were spying on me! I back away further, my hand shaking. You... I can no longer control myself. The words spill from my mouth, unbiting. The Duke was right! You're a monster! Mary lets out a scream of frustration, and I wince and I cover my ears. She grips the door frame so tightly that she tears through the wedge like it was butter. You have no idea. I've been so hungry for so long now. I've been starving myself all week just for you. Why? So you could build up an appetite? Am I next on your plate? No. It was because I wanted to be someone you could love. I was trying to change. I just lost control for a second, that's all. I shrink back further and I see panic creep across her features. Please, you have to understand. Everything the Duke said, it was all lies. Sorry, y'all, that music was getting hella loud. Anyways. Well, There had been other girls, yes, before you, but they were the ones who left me. I never hurt anyone, I swear. My neck twinges with dull pain. My hands find the front door behind me, and I grip the doorknob tight. Hazel, please. I still love you. Won't you give me one more chance? She holds out one hand towards me, a gesture of reconciliation. Looking at her delicate fingers, her carefully trimmed nails, it's hard to think of her as a monster. Then I remember the feeling of those nails digging into my back. I pull the door open and turn around. Hazel! Was everything we've done together meaningless? Was it really all really worth nothing to you? I turn back and stare into her eyes, full of genuine sorrow. Tears stream down her cheeks. Hazel, please, I can change. Just take my hand. So I got three options here. Leave, take her hand, ask about the potion. Here we go. A while ago, you said that you had a unique skin condition. I'm guessing it's a bit more than that. Well, yes, but... And you got it from drinking that potion, didn't you? You? How did you know? I thought so. I had suspected it for a while now. Would Mary really have devoted so much to creating this potion if she had no interest in drinking it herself? And could such an incredible potion really come with no side effects? I pull the small vial out of my pocket and stare at it. It looks like a muddy green liquid, nothing more. To think that so much power could be contained in something so unremarkable. Is that? Hazel, put that down. It's dangerous. I know. It's all your body's fault, right? Your cursed body? That's what makes you hurt people? No one could ever really stay by your side. No one could ever understand your pain. Because no one else has been through what you have. What are you doing? Giving you a second chance. I raise the vial to my lips and drink deep of it, feeling its bitter tang fill my mouth, feeling its power fill my veins. I am unmade in an instant, and I You saved me, you know? You gave me that chance. But nobody else ever would. When everybody else had abandoned me, you were the only one who stood by my side. Thank you. I just wish. I wish I could have saved you too. Damn. Thank you. I'm lost for words. I got the worst fucking ending. Oh, I got the worst ending. What the fuck? Astra, writer, chief of the Violet Women Appreciation Club. Ballistic Bear 703, lead programmer, Jonathan the Saint, and his 2 a.m. bug fixes. Cinnamue, producer, programmer. Oh, nice. The Strange art generalist. Okay. Lava Girl, composer, sound designer. Great sound design. Pocket Knee, art director. Yen. I think I said it right. Yen. Special thanks, fully rendered. Oh. Honestly? Notes from Senna. Thank you so much for playing our little labor of love. One desolated leg, please send well wishes to me. One concussion, please send well wishes to me. LMO. One insane fever. Get well soon, Astra. And a team of tired souls later, this game finally exists. Please be kind, write a nice comment if you'd like. We live for them. Play through the game again and again if you want, unlock all the endings and maybe an Easter egg. Stay tuned for more Toxic Yuri horror games and check out our others, and if you haven't yet, the world will never have enough. Well, y'all, that was the ending of this series.
I don't even know what to say, honestly. It was very intense. But I hope y'all enjoy and have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the month of July. Cookie out. Ciao.